Hello everyone, it's Kelso and Skill here from the Grim Reapers, and today we'll be taking a very short look at DCS using the new 72Hz mode coming soon to the Pimax crystal. Pimax have given us early access to the 72Hz mode, and we have been using it for about a week or so now, and thought we would share some of our initial thoughts and findings with you. So what's the point of having a 72Hz mode, you may ask? Well, without claiming to be any kind of expert, as far as I understand it, in theory, the lower refresh rate places less of a demand on your system to render the frames. This means that you should either be able to enjoy a smoother performance on lower end hardware, or use the extra headroom provided by the lower refresh rate to increase your graphics settings and enjoy better eye candy. When you can run the game and keep the FPS the same as the refresh rate of the headset, you don't get any of the micro stutters which you find when your system cannot keep up with the desired frame rate. It should be noted that during our testing we have not been using any kind of motion smoothing or reprojection, but have been adjusting our settings in an attempt to keep DCS running at 72 frames per second for a smooth experience. We're also using the Crystal's eye tracking along with the Quad Views API layer and dynamic foveated rendering. First of all, here are my current in-game settings. Like a lot of you are probably doing, I'm still tweaking settings since the launch of the 2.9 update, trying to find the best balance of performance and pretty graphics, so these might change, but at the moment they are working well for me. Right from the start, I will say that I was slightly concerned about trying the 72Hz mode, as I am usually very sensitive to frame rate in VR. I previously tried DCS using the 60Hz mode in my Reverb G2 and instantly disliked it. Within seconds I felt nauseous and had to switch back to the 90Hz mode. However, after switching the Crystal to the 72Hz mode, which is done by simply selecting it in the Pimax client, I was pleasantly surprised to find that there was no real noticeable stutter or flickering in the displays when moving my head. I mean, I could just about notice that it wasn't quite as smooth or fluid as the 90Hz mode, but certainly nothing that distracted from pleasant gameplay. It was still very smooth and comfortable. After flying many modules on all of the maps, in varying scenarios, single player and multiplayer, I can safely say that most of the time I could sustain the 72 frames per second and enjoy a butter smooth performance. I for one am very happy to continue to use the 72Hz mode and enjoy the extra headroom it allows my system. Although, don't get me wrong, you're still going to need a fairly powerful PC to make the most out of the Crystal and its fantastic displays. But enough from me. How did you find it worked for you, Kelso?
I tested all the maps except South Atlantic, which I don't own. Across the board, 72 Hz provided significant reduction in micro stutter and effectively zeroing out previous stutters in Syria and the Marianas. I am pleased.
Cheers! I think that one of the main benefits of adding the 72Hz mode is that it gives us, the user, a choice. Some folk may prefer the 90Hz or even the 120Hz modes and turn down the graphics settings to achieve those frame rates. I prefer the eye candy and find the 72Hz mode is very smooth, so it's a win-win. Either way, at least Pimax have provided the options so that we have that choice. Well, like I say, that was a very quick look at our initial thoughts on it. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Oh, just one more thing before we go. Kelso, do you remember our last video where you replaced me with some Braveheart sounding AI thing? No hard feelings. Catch you later.